Hey, welcome back into the channel. We tend to do this quite often. We hope to. We have special guests in studio. I think it might become a recurring thing, what we're trying to build here. But hey, stop traffic. Got a special 2 guests, specifically pitchers. They're missed in Baltimore, but they're great guys. They're good kids, as you guys know I like to call people. John Means, Tyler Wells, and Zach Bollinger.
How's it going?
Fellas, how we doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, can't complain. Feels good back. Good to be back in Baltimore for sure.
Yeah, you guys just wanted to stay away for a little bit, but you guys are rehabbing. Obviously, you're just up here for the week, doing your check-ins.
Yeah, it's kind of a packed house right now. All the broke boys are in town, and we're hanging out with the team. So, clubhouse is a little packed, but it's fun. It's good to be back for everybody. I think it helps, morale for the rehab guys for sure.
I mean, not only that, it's just good to have familiar faces around. I mean, whenever you're down rehabbing, it's always kind of just the same old thing where, you're just monotony. You're at the monotonous part of rehab right now.
So that's the part I think it's a good point to mention here is that process, right? I think people look at it of going, oh, you're just rehabbing to be the best conditioned pitcher you can be, John. And so I think in general, what is that kind of day to day? Yeah, I had to throw that in there. What's that kind of day to day on?
It's the same every single day. It's just monotonous.
Groundhog Day.
It is, yeah. Baseball season can kind of be like that sometimes, but rehab just makes it.
So down there in Florida too. I know you're not in Florida now, but just to give people the normal tendency is wake up at 6:30, 7, right? You're gonna go into the field, get in maybe the tub. Do what you got to do.
You want the whole schedule? I got it.
You know what? If you want to walk us through it, why not? Why not?
I wake up at 7 every day. I go get dressed, get ready, go make my coffee every day, no exception.
Mm-hmm.
I go into the field and go get into the tub. Usually I'm probably sitting there talking a little bit. It's kind of what I'm known for.
Yes, you are.
And so I sit there, I talk, I go into the tub, hang out, go into the weight room, go up to our rehab strength coach. I'm like, hey, what do I got today? Be like, lift, go do your conditioning, do all your stuff. You're good to go. All right, cool. Go do all that. Go into the training room, do all my shoulder exercises because that's like where we're at right now. It's and I think that's probably the most monotonous aspect of it. You go in there and then anything else that you want to work on, I think that's part of kind of just like, I have all this time to kill. Why not just work on these additional things I need to work on? And then you pretty much call it a day, and then you try to pass the time elsewhere. I mean, for me, it's my wife gets frustrated with me, but I watch the Orioles every night, just sit on the couch and watch the game and yell at the umpires over the TV.
I was going to ask, how often do you watch it every night? You might as well.
Pretty much every night, yeah. I mean, it's kind of routine.
Pretty much every game this year too.
Yeah, I think you actually texted me, Tyler, about was I watching with the Rockies on some reviews. I'll tell you what, I think it gets entertaining when you can sit back and watch from a different side. I know you guys would rather be in the dugout, be there presently, but yeah, there's been some controversial moments here in games, and not just with Orioles, it's all around Major League Baseball. So, but the key theme here is monotony. And I think that I know with the rehab process, I hurt my ankle twice to start my minor league career, and just sitting there. And even though they might think your day's over, I don't know. I felt, this is going to sound dark here, but I almost had like an emptiness. I had this void I was trying to fill. Right. And that's kind of what you guys are doing. And unfortunately, both of you guys have had a lot of injuries. John, I know for you, this is second time you've had to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mentally, not that I want you physically to be conditioned. I want to emphasize you being conditioned. But mentally, are you doing all right?
Yeah, hanging in there for sure. Learned a lot over this process, and definitely started to value some things that probably maybe weren't valued before, just because the family and all that, being able to spend time with them and just kind of focused on things outside of baseball. But it definitely tested me last time through. I think this time through, I'm just kind of I think last time I tried to be, the best rehabber and do as much as I possibly could, and it kind of didn't work out. So this time I'm just trying to just take it day by day and just say, look, whatever comes, and just kind of go from there. But
yeah, and I mean, obviously, you a little bit more of just the uncertainties, but you got to live in the moment. It's hard when, especially you being with the organization before, and you got through some dark years, and now it's supposed to be fun. The team's good. Tyler, same thing for you, but you didn't have the pleasure of playing in the Orioles farm system like John and I did. But it's a fun time. I think that's the biggest part here is that it seems like it's just a genuine group. Would you guys attest to that in the locker room?
yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's the guys that I know. It just seems like a group that's fun to be around. And I know you guys want to be around. Well, actually, John, since we brought it up, farm system life, man.
Yeah.
Going back, you refresh my memory. In 2018, you were able to make your debut, but you were not one of the guys. No offense, but you were a guy that they weren't sure what your role was going to be. Talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the first time that you and I actually met. It was definitely during a spring training because I didn't get to play with you.
Yeah, probably just during spring training back because you were definitely 16.
Well, actually, my road, John, I was drafted in 14, got released by the Nationals because I was playing like poo. And then I got picked up by the O's and I got to meet you. What a blessing.
And just what a blessing that minor league organization was. No, it honestly, yeah, I had the pleasure of benefiting from such a bad, prospect list and bad, like the team struggling in 18. I think 45 wins in 18 or something like that.
So when the wheels fell off.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've actually told you the story about me getting called up, but
no, you haven't.
So the year ended in AAA and I went home for 2 weeks. So I went home year end. Usually they have like a taxi squad, right? Where they go to Florida, stay warmed up. I went home for 2 weeks, didn't touch a baseball. I got a call from our minor league coordinator at the time. And he's like, hey, have you been throwing? Have you been working out? And I go, yeah, I've been working out. I've been throwing. Just lied to him. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And he's like, okay, we might need you to, warm back up and get back to the, we might need some help because we had a lot of injuries going on at that time. They're like, oh crap. Like we should have probably sent some guys to Florida. And so it was me and Dylan Tate actually that got sent to Florida, 2 guys. And so first day bullpen, third day live BP, like you just go right into it. And Dylan actually came down with like a little minor injury and he's like, I'm not doing this. I'm not risking it. So it was just me left. So I'm just like, it was only me in Florida. And a couple weeks go by, I'm like, I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's going to happen. And then I get a notification on my phone, Alex Cobb has a blister. And so I get a call like right after I see that notification. Hey, you're meeting the team in Boston, get on a plane and do the thing. But yeah, it was just, and then I was so happy to be there. Like Fenway Park and everybody else was just so upset because they've won 45 games.
Yeah, it was a rough go for the
worst environment ever, and I just had this huge smile on my face, like this is awesome.
Well, you were living out the dream, and I mean, for you grinded to get to that point, and that's the part that I think that everyone looks at the athletes here and your journeys. And actually, both of you guys have interesting journeys because one, you're waiting for a chance, and also, I guess that was the wrong term. It's not fake it till you make it there, but I guess it was a good lie to make sure you were ready to go. Hey, I'm good. Oh, I'm great.
I'm good. I was like drinking a beer, like watching college football. I'm like, I'm good.
We're not that far removed from season. It was only 2 weeks. I still got it in there.
Yeah, you're getting your shoulder care in, obviously. Yeah, exactly. And the drinking a little beer had the arm action. So you were
some adrenaline going. I'll be all right.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's all it takes. But I think that everyone thinks that your journey was, I think newer fans to the team or ones that didn't know how you got here. For you, I loved it because even though the team was terrible, and that was actually in 18, the team had expectations to be good, and then they just were bad. It opened up opportunities. You got an opportunity. Even Cedric Mullins then, a few years later, was able to showcase being a 30-30 guy during bad years. But then 19, you were one of the last relievers that made the squad, and then the rest is history. You come an all-star. You almost pitch a perfect game. The no-hitter works, though, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those are awesome moments, and just to think maybe that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah.
And then big old Tyler over here gets Rule 5'd, coming to Baltimore in two unprecedented cases. Last guy making a team that turns out to be an all-star. You going straight from were you in Double-A at the time?
Yeah, I had my first Tommy John surgery in 2019.
So
I
it was.
pitched in 2019. I didn't pitch in 2020.
Yeah.
So my last game was in like September of 2018.
And then it was, hey, you're a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah, it was funny because I'd come home from Florida. I'd basically finished up my rehab. I threw my last live BP to really just show that I was healthy and everything was good. And then I think it was like, when was the Rule 5 draft? It was like in November or something like that. So like October, November time's rolling around, and I'm going into my facility in California, and he's like, "Hey, dude, like, how you feeling? Like, how's everything? Like, what were you up to in your last bullpen, last live BP or whatever?" I was like, "Oh yeah, like everything was good. I think it was up to like 92 or something like that." Like, and he goes, "Okay, cool. Well, I'm hearing rumblings. I don't know if this means anything or not, but there's a possibility that people are talking about you in the Rule 5 draft." I'm like, "Okay, well, I haven't pitched in 2 years. Like, there's nothing really going on with that." And then all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, second pick. Like, congrats, dude. You're going to be a big leaguer. And, I thought that was really cool because, everyone's like, "Oh, you're a big leaguer. You're a big leaguer." I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Still got to go. Still got to make it." And, I come into spring training and, I'm just trying to survive at this point.
Yeah.
And that's actually where me and him got really, became good friends because, I kind of relied on him for a lot, like just asking questions. I think I talked his ear off while, it was him and Tanner Scott. And we're just sitting there and I'm just talking, trying to learn like how everything's going and how to kind of go about my business and whatnot. And then, the rest is kind of history. And you said that you went to Boston. Did you debut in Fenway or did you? Oh, you did?
I gave up like 7 runs, but yeah.
Okay.
Who tagged you for the first run?
So I went 1, 2, 3 the first inning. I was like, I got this.
Easy.
They said the pros were hard.
And then 2018 is when the Red Sox won the World Series, like had 108 wins, and it was like everyone had like 40 homers on the team. It was like insane. And 1, 2, 3, struck out my first guy, Mitch Moreland. And then the second inning, I got the first 2 outs, and then Benintendi rolls over one, and I don't cover first.
Nice.
Which is, that's
come on.
Never a good sign.
That's on you.
Never a good sign. Next batter, Mookie Betts, double. And then next batter, JD Martinez, 3-run homer over the Green Monster. And then the wheels just fell off. And it was just.
It always amazes me how, like, not just John, but like players in general remember that so vividly.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
right before
pitch by pitch. It's
That's what I
I
was saying. It's
gave
like
you
it
that.
traumatized
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
You know exactly
And
how
the
it
eyes
happened.
opened a little bit like.
I went fastball in, ball, fastball in, 2 balls, 2-0. I'm like, he thinks I'm throwing a changeup here. I'm going to go another fastball. And literally like perfectly on the corner, just like 460 over the Green Monster.
Yeah, you were feeling slick. What was the
Feeling
heater
real
coming in at that day
It
too?
was like 90, 89, 90. So it was, it was really
Electric.
getting by him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You thought you were going to sneak it by him. You are deceptive, though. I want to say that's what makes you good. Not in that moment, but you do have deception with your pitch. But that's the fun part of it. And actually, before we got on here, we talk about you don't remember all the great moments. You'll remember some great moments, but you remember more of the bad than you remember the good.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, I'm glad. Did we? Actually, I'm going to find that video. That's a good sequence
That
there.
is, yeah.
2018.
2018.
Oh, we're going to find that clip.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like, I
Tyler.
think my second appearance, so my first appearance, the
You
first
should
hit
tell the story of the end of spring training when you were convinced that you were getting released or you were getting sent down.
Tyler getting in his head. Please.
Because the Twins trainer texted him for his info.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's right. I forgot about this. So,
This is the very end.
So this
when
is
they're making
what-
cuts.
After when you got Rule 5,
This is
first
Rule
spring
5,
training.
first spring
yeah,
training.
so this was like first spring training. Everything's good. Like, I thought that I threw the ball pretty well during spring. And I'm not like sitting there saying like, oh, I made the team, but I'm like, okay, like I think I got a real shot. Like everything's good. And then I'm sitting there and next thing I know, like it's literally what was the last like 5 days.
Yeah, like
or
we're
something
about to, we're
that.
getting ready to go on the.
Yeah, and they're like
trip.
making the heavy cuts at this point. And I get a text from one of the Minnesota Twins, like athletic trainers in like high A or something like that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and they're asking for like my like medical info, like fill out this thing, like blah, blah. And so I'm sitting there and I go up to John. I'm like, yo, like, I think I just got cut without getting told that I got cut. Like there's no way that like I'm not getting
That's what
cut at
happens.
this
You get
point.
sent back to the team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Twins are texting you asking for info. It's like, oh no, I'm going back.
Oh, dude,
I'm sure you handled that well.
Yeah. His whole demeanor.
Pardon my
was just
French
like,
here, but I shat a brick. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like freaking out, and like, and not only that, like it was. I don't think I found out that I made the team until probably like the day before the last day of camp, before we were flying up to Boston.
So when did this happen then? So when you got the text,
you were cut.
3. Like, because it was like 5 days or something. I think it was like 5 days, or it was 5 or 4 days before the end of camp, and everyone was like flying up to Boston.
Yeah.
And so I'm like freaking out for like, I'm walking on eggshells for probably 3 days up until they were like, hey dude, like, do you want to come to Boston? I'm like, yeah. And then it was like, and then I think we also had a day. It's a funny story because this will always resonate with me.
Yeah.
Because like, I think it was like a few days before that, like we had an off day, and you know, I went golfing with some of the guys, got invited out. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatnot. And then the day that we were leaving to go to Boston, I had Wade LeBlanc call me over. He congratulated me for making the team and whatnot. And he goes, so what'd you do yesterday? I was like, yeah, I went golfing with some of the guys. Like, we had a good time and, you know, just whatnot. And he goes, oh, that's great. You were the only guy that didn't show up yesterday. I don't know if this is true or not, but I assumed it was. And I still to this day assume it was, because I didn't know. He goes, this is a job now. And he scared the hell out of me. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God, I'm never going to miss another day, like, ever. And so each off day during the season for like 6 months, or not 6 months, it was probably like 3 or 4 months, I went into the field to make sure that I never missed an off day to go in and throw, until Hyder was like, whoever keeps coming in on off days, like, stop it, because we're going to let these guys have a break. And
so Wade put the fear of God in you a little bit with that. And you don't know if he was messing with you still.
Still to this day, no. But I'm going to assume that he was, because Wade was an awesome human being and an honest dude at that.
Wade, I'm going to have you watch this. I need to know, because I love the fact that you trying to right the ship with this guy. But you know what is cool? I was seeing John was blushing, maybe not blushing, but it was cool that you guys bonded over this whole experience of you were being the savvy vet, even though you just got up to the big leagues at the time. And
yeah, I mean,
did you like Tyler to start or no?
He talked a lot.
Yeah.
But
Still hasn't changed.
Nope.
Changed. And it's funny because we have a lot of similarities, like life experiences and stuff like that. And then once he started pitching, we pitch very similar too, where we don't give up a whole lot of hits, but we give up a lot of homers, unfortunately. And so we just have the same issues. We pitching wise, I feel like we relate kind of. We throw a lot of strikes, but sometimes those are too good of strikes. And so there's just certain things that we can definitely relate to back and forth throughout the baseball life.
So on top of that too, we were also like, I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was born in Kansas City, like similar, just like lifestyles and kind of just how we went about our business too. So I thought that was always like easy. It was easy for me to also to relate to him, and compared to like other guys.
So how did you not get an accent then, John?
I don't know. I don't know if it's fake for him or what, but
It definitely isn't. Because at this point, my grandparents. I lived with my grandparents for 9 years.
So
and
before we start this, so
yeah, please, thank you.
In 2021, this was kind of the joke of the bullpen a little bit, was whenever anybody asked, Tyler, where are you from? Everybody in the bullpen, oh my God. You have 30 minutes.
Go ahead.
He's lived in like 4 different states, and he'll just explain all the different cities and states. And then they changed his walkout song to I've Been Everywhere You Were, Man. And that was his walkout song for the last.
You know what's funny? It wasn't even a player that did it. It was Darren Holmes.
Darren
It
did
was
it?
our bullpen coach.
Oh, that's incredible.
So-
And one of the times, the time that he changed it, he was like, "Oh, I changed it." And then the next time I go out there and they play my normal walk-up song, and then it probably was like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they finally got it in there. And this was like whenever I was coming in for like a save or something like that, like my freaking adrenaline's pumping, and then I hear this song go on, and I start like laughing.
So like, I'll be everywhere,
Yeah,
man.
and
I'll
I
be
sit there and
anywhere,
I
man.
just take
Yeah.
like a quick glimpse back at the bullpen, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, did you have success with the song?
Yeah, I think you should bring him back.
I don't remember if I did or not, because that could have also been whenever I blew the save against the Blue Jays and I gave up 4.
There you go.
Well, that's a great memory. That's a great
memory.
moment.
We remember
Yeah,
the good
see?
things out
It's
of
all-
it.
And then my next one, I gave up 3 runs in the night to blow the save against the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Positive energy.
Positive energy. But you grew from that because in 2023, or it was last year, you closed out the game for the Orioles to clinch. So
Yeah.
that's a positive. Let's go back.
I remember that.
Yeah. No,
You just reminded him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, I forgot I had a cool moment there. Let's talk about another cool moment. John talked about his first home run he gave up. You remember yours?
The first home run I gave up was
In the bigs.
before, I want to say it was Kike Hernandez. I think I gave it up to Kike Hernandez, and it was a wall scraper before Baltimore was a thing. And it was like just a little wall scraper pop up, and
Yeah,
I
these
think
kids
it
have
just
no
like
idea nowadays about the old ball.
No.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea, John. Honestly, they're spoiled now.
Use this, wall, this beautiful wall and left.
I mean, I'm thankful for Baltimore now because it saved me plenty of homers. But
Not on your first outing
no,
of this year.
definitely not.
Love you, buddy. But, there was a couple that were getting out there.
Well, I'd say the trend in 23 was that, and well,
In 23, though, you were good for a quality start. You would go 5+ to start pre-All-Star break, but guaranteed it was death taxes. Tyler's going to give you a good outing, but someone's going big ball.
yeah.
But it'd be a solo
Basically.
shot. Solo shot.
Hey, I said that-
I'm telling you, same thing. All our runs we
Yeah.
give up, most of them are.
I always said it. It's never a problem until it starts becoming multi-run homers.
Yeah.
Well, that was you guys aren't known to walk a ton. So that was what I tell people. If you're going to give up jacks, I'd rather a pitcher, if they hit you, they hit you. But if you walk a couple guys and then they go big ball, then that's where it's the problem. And that's where guys get in trouble.
That's why I think we talk about this all the time. FIP. You want how to calculate FIP?
No. Do you want to explain it to me?
So
and
that-
explain?
this is like the new
Time out.
stat,
Time
right?
out.
So
Time
yeah.
out. Before you go into that.
Okay.
If you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. But secondly, I want you to talk about what it is and then talk about how it's calculated. So what is
So
FIP?
FIP, and I could screw this up a little, but it's strikeouts plus strikeouts plus
It's fielder independent pitching is
Mhm.
what I think it's called.
So
So basically,
home
it takes out
And
all the true
walks.
outcomes.
Zach,
Yeah,
what
it
do you
takes
have?
out all
Yeah,
the
it's like it-
infielder. It
Here,
takes
what's
out
the
all
official
field-
definition?
It measures a pitcher's performance by focusing on events they control, such as strikeouts, walks, and home runs.
So basically, if you give up home runs, your FIP's really high.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys
If
had
if
some
you
high
don't strike
FIPs.
out a ton of guys, your FIP's really high.
Yeah.
So we don't really strike out a ton. We give up some homers, but
Like we have our moments with
our FIP is
strikeouts.
like 2. So it's supposed to relate to ERA. Like it's supposed to be like if you have
Correlate.
like a 3.5. You want to have like a 3.5 FIP. We
Okay.
have like a 3.5, and it would be like a 5.5 FIP. And
Yeah,
it's like,
Really
it was,
good.
It was ridiculous because I think last year in 23 I had like somewhere around like a 3.6 or 3.7, and then my FIP was like a 4.89, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this is just not adding up. I was like,
you said, like if you go 7 innings, give up 2 runs, but it's 2 solo shots. Like that's a good outing, right?
It's a great outing.
you may be able to look this up.
In FIP world, in the fairy tale world, it's not a good outing.
Does it
And-
account for exit velocities at all?
No,
Because if that's well, I mean, I know
just those 3 stats.
I knew that I was up there in
But that's how they do Fangraph WAR. So that's like F WAR is FIP related instead of ERA.
So the thing I want to point out with this game, analytics I know is a big part of the game. Like it helps you guys, especially with scouting reports and how your pitches are moving and how it's being perceived. But at the end of the day, too, where I with all those positives, at the end of the day, can you get guys out? And how can you pitch to your best ability? A guy I was just looking up right now who I'd say similarly doesn't throw hard. It's on the best team not the best team in the National League now. It's the Dodgers, but the Phillies. Ranger Suarez throws 91, 92.
I faced him. He's nasty.
Yeah, he's disgusting. Knows how to pitch. What?
I faced him hitting.
Oh, you faced him hitting? Was he nasty hitting too?
Nasty. No, I faced him.
You hit against.
Was that the one that you hit the double off?
3 pitches. Yeah, 3 fastballs.
Well, who'd you hit the double off of in Philly in 21?
That was right. You got a double.
And then he tried to steal third.
What? No, I did not try to steal third. This is the highlight.
That's what
of
it
my
looked
career,
like.
And then like the low light of my career. A highlight. So double off center field wall.
It was like 104.
Like 103 off
Smoked
the bat. Dead center. Should have been a homer, but it's the deepest part of the park. Get to second base. I'm smiling ear to ear. Next pitch goes to the backstop. I just take off. I'm running. I look over. It hits the brick. Bounces right back to JT Realmuto. He sees me running. I swear he takes like 3 pats and just goes. And I slide into third. I'm out by a mile.
I don't even know why you slid at that point. I'm sitting there. I was like, you might as well have just stuck into the ground.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So,
really good, John.
Yeah, really good base running.
You know what?
Next pitch runner later in my career. Yeah.
This is what I want next time you guys come in. Next time you guys come in, well conditioned. Yeah, that's how you conditioned.
Yeah.
That's the key phrase of this show.
I've been practicing a lot.
A lot. That is the number one thing.
Focus.
Yes. But next time we're going to get some of your best moments, both of you. And we'll bring it on the big board here and we're going to break those down because I would love to dissect your glorified moment. Wow, I just smoked the hell out of that ball.
Yes.
And then, hey, John, walk me through this taking third base here. And we can count the steps. We can look at your face, the expression. Tyler can be there as well to really dissect it. And we'll make it a thing.
It's got to be like a similar feeling. You ever play golf and you have like this incredible drive, and then the very next shot you just chunked the shit out of it.
Yeah,
oh, that was me the other day.
Yeah.
It happens every time.
Same feeling.
I did that the other day. I hadn't played in a while. I piped one down the fairway. I'm feeling great. I'm like 100 yards out. And then I hit the ball 100 yards that way and then 20 yards this way. And then I go over the green. And then I got a triple.
Love it.
Felt really good. These are the stories I don't think people always get to see. And this is why when we do things here, it's about unveiling unveiling the curtain? Pulling it back?
Taking a peek behind the curtain.
Taking a peek behind the curtain?
Yeah. There you go.
I'm not good with all these phrases yet. I'm just big on movie quotes, like holy shirts and pants, and all the Austin Powers wedding crashers. Like that's like my wheelhouse for that stuff.
Like it is amazing to me that people can sit there and be like, "Oh, I'll remember all these freaking movie quotes." But like I sit there, I watch a movie, and like I'll remember like maybe one. But then it's like movies, I don't really watch a whole lot of movies. But like for me, it's like it's more of like how things happen in a row. Like in just normal life, I remember how that happens, but I cannot remember a movie line to save my life.
That's tough. What we do on the show, I'll just mix in some comments here, or even like song lyrics. Like if something goes crazy, and Zach already knows where I'm going with this, where I'm almost like, man, that was a wild moment. Like some would say, this shit is bananas. BANANAS. He gets it, right? It's that simple. But if I drop like some Austin Powers references, like, can I ask you a question and be honest? Can you shall we shag now or shag later? Zach wasn't born yet when the movie came out.
He asks me these random questions and then just waits for me, knowing damn well I don't know it.
Also, I would never ask you about like personally, shall we shag now? It's a movie quote because you're a good kid, but not like that. Anyway, the moments though, this is what makes it fun. And I try to keep it light with you guys because baseball's so damn hard. You guys are some of the best in the business, even in the sense of getting to the big leagues is so damn hard. And I think that's the part where I get roasted on Twitter sometimes because I need to be a little bit more negative because I got to say, hey, John, Tyler, you guys suck. Sometimes you might, but that's just the nature of the beast. Got to talk to Jason Worth, the amount of slumps that you go through. But at the big league level, you're constantly trying to prove yourself. And even when you have it figured out, you guys I don't know who wants to answer this, but I already know the answer. It's better that you guys say it than me. Is even when you think you got it figured out, you get humbled really quickly. And then you're trying to find it. It's not like you're going a full 162. Actually, this is the point I wanted to go with. How many times do you guys think you actually have your A stuff, everything's on, if you were going to start 30 games, how many starts?
I mean, probably a third of those,
Yeah,
maybe.
so 10, maybe.
Where you're like, man, my stuff is
Usually
good.
you have
Yeah.
10 where you feel great, 10 where you feel awful, and then 10 you're just trying to grind through an outing and battling. Basically.
We were actually having that conversation last night, similarly, about his no-hitter, because we were talking about the Cubs, how they threw a no-hitter, but it was a combined no-hitter. He was like, it's just not as impressive as one person doing it.
Yeah,
And
John, I think
like,
John's a little biased to that.
He's a little bit.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, though.
He's not. No, I will back him up. If anyone has a problem with it, they can come to me because
all
I'm
impressive.
backing him up on this because it's like
talking shit on this.
because it's like, okay, yeah, it's cool, like it's great, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Imanaga was at like what 95 pitches or something like that. You said you threw 118, 112, something like that. So then like, we're sitting there, we're talking about it, and this is not to throw him under the bus because it's like what
Already happened, but yeah.
Nah, it didn't. So anyway, we're sitting there and we're just, we're talking about it. And it's like the ability to go out there and be truly 100% confident in the stuff that you have that day is like where things like that for him happen.
Yeah.
Like I had, and then the next year in 22, like I think I had 2 starts in a row where I took like a no-hitter into like the 5th or something like that. And it's like, I feel the same thing, like where it's like, you just have 100% confidence in what you're doing. And it's like, that is where it's very few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, it's like, that's where it's easy to be like, okay, whenever I have 100% confidence in all my stuff, yeah, I can go out there, I can do this. Like, that's no problem. And then it's like, really, whenever you start to kind of get into trouble, and you're starting to have to navigate and you're just like, well, screw it. Like, this is what I got today. Like, I'm not going to throw hard. I don't have my slider. I don't have my curveball, whatever. Like, I'm going to have to make do with what I got. And you got to figure it out right then and there.
Well, I think that's the part that people get. I want to say gets confused with. And by the way, fans know this. I understand. If you want your team to win, obviously you're passionate. You guys are passionate. It's a different role. But what we try to explain the context of it is, how you guys have to pitch, specifically you guys, you play off of your other pitches. You need to be able to throw hitters off. So your fastball then can set up a good changeup. If you don't have your other off-speed pitch, it can make your other pitches less effective, right? If you throw 99 or 100 like Batista did, even if you didn't have a splitter or something like that, that velo plays, not all the time, but for most cases, you throw 100, that plays. That's important.
You get a little more leeway.
Yeah, you can get away with more mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one part here. And I was telling people, even with Corbin Burns right now, I know Burns had a rough month of August. Granted, for him, situationally against Houston, he had 2 strikes, 2 outs, a lot, and he gave up, I think, like 5 2-out RBIs. It's 1 pitch away. He wasn't as sharp maybe as earlier, but even an ace, people are going to say considering, yeah, you guys are saying it's the 10 games that he might actually have all the stuff. He just competes well. But I'm glad you guys could mention that. You guys have to say it because I'm new to baseball. It's new to me. So it's better if 2 guys can explain it. So everyone, guys that have been there and done that, you know what I mean?
I'll provide some perspective on this for
Please do.
fans, because it's like a lot of the time it's like it's not so much that you mess up, it's when you mess up. Like it could be a big game and people will only remember the fact that you missed. It could be that one time during season and they can say
it's all they focus on.
That's all that they see. It's so hard to even in this, even in the minor leagues, like baseball is so incredibly difficult to be consistent at. But that is why, for those who have kids, it's the best sport to put your kids in because it teaches you about failure. Like, you will fail. It's not just the hitters. 3 out of 10 times you're an all-star type of thing. Like, it's not just them. It's also us. Like, we're going to get beat. There's going to be days we give up home runs in big spots that we wish we could take back. I mean, that is how it works because – it's life. Like, you don't know when stuff is going to happen. All you can do is focus and control on what you can control.
Yeah.
I like to say, because hitting so hard, obviously by far hitting hardest thing to do in all sports. I mean, I think that
Preach.
Pretty
Yeah.
common knowledge. That's why I think pitching is the hardest thing, because since hitting is so hard, when you fail as a pitcher, you suck.
Mhm.
Like pitching.
Well, that's how you even feel. That's how it even feel.
If you fail to, especially as a starting pitcher, everybody knows that you
Mhm.
failed because you're the one on the mound. You control every pitch.
And you have to address the media after with all the questions.
And like if you fail, like the score shows it. If like a hitter doesn't do well, usually sometimes it gets buried a little bit. If you go for like 0 for 4 or whatever, some other guys will protect you. When you're a starting pitcher, it's like.
And you have to always be honest and reflect with yourself as to like kind of really what's going on. You can't just be like, like it was a bad day. It's like, no, you got to figure out actually what happened and what went wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the part. At some point, a lot of these guys, as you continue to move up the totem pole to get to the big leagues, everyone is good. And some guys are more talented than others, but sometimes the most talented guys aren't the ones that are having the most success because they aren't able to figure out how they work the best, right? Like that's the reality of it. You know, we all know this. There's certain guys that can put on an absolute show in batting practice, might have electric stuff on the mound, but when the time comes for them to execute, they're not executing enough. And that's the part in between the ears, right? That's the part of it where it's the mental side that no one knows. And how do you bounce back? How do you bounce back from getting absolutely shelled or you're 0 for 30? And like that was the thing with Jackson Holiday. I was telling people earlier for him, they go, oh man, he could be a bust. I'm like, first off, 20 years old. I just got drafted. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Zach you were.
I was in West Virginia just
doing some things in West Virginia.
I was Marshall.
I also lived there. I also lived there.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it up. There's a rivalry here. Well,
where were you at in West Virginia?
Oh, that's right. We gotta get the football.
Ironically, I lived in Morgantown for 4 years. Probably while he was.
Is that part of the journey, the story of Tyler Wells?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Well, damn.
The journey. It's a long one.
We got a little West Virginia.
West Virginia. We'll get into I want to get into football here in a second, but to close out the baseball's hard. Period. It's hard. It's difficult. I appreciate your guys' honest, organic thoughts on this because each year nothing's guaranteed, but the thing you have to do is good or bad. If you get to this point, you have no choice. You got to figure it out. No one's going to feel sorry for you either, but the reality is you are going to fail. You're going to have multiple failures. This isn't something you can hope to. Like Corbin Burns, I brought it up again. When people ask me, is something wrong? I'm like, well, I'm surprised he didn't get shelled in July or April or May just because he had one outing where he didn't allow more than 4 earned runs until August, which is ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous to think. And then, yes, Red Sox tagged him. Houston got him a little bit, but other than that, it's been really good. Just one thing. I guess we got to talk quickly on the team for a second. The boys seem like they got some good energy still. It seems like despite you guys not being there, honestly, you guys have an IL that's the longest list. It's like I don't know.
That is full of elite pitchers, by the way.
Yeah.
You're on the IL. You're on the IL.
The IL team could compete for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Honestly, IL team versus the top team in baseball, any team.
That IL
the
team
IL team might
in
win.
A 5-game series, I don't know many.
It's a really good IL team.
The IL team.
But I think what I'm saying is the spirit, the competitiveness, the guys look like they still got it. They still look like they're fighting. I saw some people saying, well, could be frustrations. Yeah, you'll get frustrated. I mean, hell, the team's been up and down. It's 162, and with all the injuries, the boys are still have a chance to win the AL East and then also continue to do what they hope to do. Actually, what Texas did last year, same thing. They didn't have DeGrom. Scherzer got hurt, and then they just got as hot as the sun. Came to Baltimore, did the Birds dirty, but they also made MLB history and won 11 straight road games. But can you guys just talk on that? It looks like the guys, nothing's wavered despite all the struggles.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the culture that they've created there. It's been pretty cool to watch. I mean,
yeah.
We saw it last year. I think last year it really blossomed. But Mike's done a great job just creating that minor league culture all the way up, and there's a lot of communication from the top down. And I think it's all this next man up mentality. And I think that they do a better job than anybody with that. I mean, we saw it last year, and then we're seeing it this year again. I mean, to be in first place in the AL East, it's with all the injuries, that's incredible.
Yeah, top team in the American League,
Yeah.
I think, or right there. Did Cleveland lose?
No, they're the top
But still,
team. No. I'm saying Orioles are top.
Orioles
team.
still the top team in the American League.
That's insane.
I mean,
Think about that.
Mhm.
Well, and I think too, like, you know, you bring in all these new guys, you know, at the trade deadline that have been, you know, really good. Like there have been, you know, some situations where it's like, it may not worked out the way that you wanted to immediately, but at the same time too, there is purpose.
I mean, Eflin might be the best trade of the season by any team.
Zach
By any-
Eflin? Oh, yeah.
And not only that, is he like, you're talking performance on the field.
Yeah.
Like they don't even talk about what he's done in the clubhouse either. Like, I mean,
And
I've had conversations with F, and I mean, he is an incredible person.
Yeah.
Like,
Love
and
that.
it's good for the clubhouse. It's good to bring these guys in, and like, you know, Sir Anthony Dominguez, same thing. Like, you know, Eloy Jimenez, like same thing. Like, it's like they didn't just go out and get these players, because I know that like I saw a lot of people were like, why are we getting Eloy Jimenez? And like I go in there, I go into the clubhouse, I talk to this guy, I meet him, and like I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's why, because he's just a good energy to have. And I think that that's where, you know, people were, you know, like you said, like they were looking at the IL. They weren't looking at the roster.
But it's amazing how you say that, because of just the people in Chicago were not fans of Jimenez, and we saw that one of the media got, you know.
Yeah, a lot of
media
Chicago was on Eloy, and we talked about that. Some cases in baseball too, and you guys know, clean slate, fresh start. And I mean, right now for the White Sox and the Fighting Gavin Sheets, it's been tough for the boys over there. And when you're in a tough place, that's why when I brought up with you pitching so well during the rebuild and Seti having the 30-30 season, when things aren't going well and your focus, you're always trying to win. But when you know that you can't chase the ultimate goal of the playoffs and the World Series, trying to play for yourself becomes extremely challenging, and you're not wired to do that. And I think that's a part where for guys that come from losing teams, when you go to winning, you're not focused on, oh, I need to get my hits. It's how can I help this team win? If that makes sense.
That's what I was going to say.
yeah.
As far as like, you know, it's kind of crazy how like a change of scenery really changes your outlook, your perspective, your performance, and all that. I mean, we saw that with Aaron Hicks last year too. So like, it's kind of interesting to see what a change of scenery will do for a player.
Yeah.
Especially with the White Sox. I mean, going to like a winning environment like
Yeah.
the Orioles are right now, like that's
It boosts you up.
huge.
And then also you got other
full at bats. I mean,
I tell you guys know this obviously, but I remember in the minor leagues telling guys, I know a lot of people didn't like extending the season for 2 weeks. Most guys, we got 2 more weeks of playing ball if you go to the championship in the minor leagues or go to the playoffs. Also, looking back, I tell people, you really got to complain about your career for 2 extra weeks of trying to pop champagne and champagne down the crack and have a good time with the guys. It's an experience that you're going to wish you had. But secondly, when you're not playing down the stretch and you're trying to move up, if your team's bad and you're out of it, you have good guys. But I was in Bowie in 19 when we were making a run, and Frederick, we were terrible, got called up. And I was like, man, like we could celebrate something. And it took the pressure off of me to go, hey, I know I want to keep moving up, but let's enjoy this. Let's try to win this. Because at the end of the day, that's what got me into baseball, was trying to win, the culture of it. And I got to mention, before I know we got to talk football here because John's, I'm keeping my emotions down. But James McCann, also the fact that dude, tough as nails, Tyler, tough SOB. If you get hit in the face too, and you're going to stay in the game and become Batman or Bane overnight. I mean, I feel like everyone loves James.
We can give Ramon Urias a little bit of an honorary reward there as well.
Yeah, Ramon.
He deserved it. He did get hit in the face.
He did, and he's unfortunately then he had the ankle, which was the worst part.
That was a horrible night for Ramon. He got the one right over the head, then got the nose, and then
Dean got drilled that game.
Same day.
Really good, really great series.
But for McCann to get like a broken face,
the first inning of the
not
game,
only to continue
of a doubleheader,
not only to continue catching, but he got a knock too, like with one eye.
Yeah.
With one eye.
One eye.
Yeah, like because the other one was swollen shut. Yeah.
It was incredible that game, watching as the innings went on. Just the swelling went more like each at bat, he could see a little bit less out of his.
Sitting in the dugout and he's like this.
I mean, I sat there and I texted him. I was like, "Screw surgery. I want to come close out this game right now." Like, that's the kind of energy that I had after all that was said and done. Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, obviously with McCann, like he's been a huge influence on me as a player as well, like especially last year, and being able to share some of the memories on him. Because like to go back real quick to bring it all back to the front, like. Whenever I got the save last year in the AL East, like that's the most euphoric like feeling I've ever had on a baseball field. Kind of like how you were talking about like that kind of energy because I missed us clinching like for playoffs. Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like in my feelings, like I was devastated. Like I was hurting, like I was like, it's like, how Nick Ahmed was like, I don't even want that ring, like for the, the World Series, or not for the World Series, but like for.
And the guy you're referring to with Nick was with the Diamondbacks, and they let him go right before then. Different circumstance, but what you're trying to say is, this meant a lot to you. You wanted to be there for the process of it.
Because you were there and you were in the making of it with everyone. And like you sit there and you kind of, you just feel like defeated in that aspect, and then being able to bring it back into that euphoric stance of like closing out the game to clinch the AL East and going off and like having the party and stuff like that. But to bring it all back, like during those times, like where you feel defeated or like you're kind of just going through it, like the time that I got an option last year, one person that was always consistent about reaching out was McCann. You sit there and it's like you talk to him and he's like, keep at it, like everything's good. We miss you up here. Like, just keep going. And, and I think like me and him had plenty of conversations about it as he was working out.
You were rehabbing again. Well,
yeah.
He was rehabbing while you were down there.
Yeah. It's funny. There's a little dig throw under the bus back at me there.
Yeah.
Rehabbing, but,
We're down in double A.
Yeah. But, it's like to bring it all
base
back.
Sox,
like,
baby.
Whenever you look at McCann, McCann is a guy for the team. McCann is a guy that's going to sit there and go to battle for each and every single one of his teammates every single day. And, I think that he's such an imperative part to what this team's success has been for the last couple of years. Yeah. And I think that, going forward, like I would love to see him, still be here with us because I think that he's such a pivotal part.
And I think that's something that people like fans don't always understand when they look at the box score. They're like, this is what the guy's worth the team. Like, this is what his worth is to the team. They don't see the behind the scenes stuff. They don't see what a leader they can be, the veteran presence in the clubhouse. And as you're just saying, like, it does, like the veterans and stuff can kind of get everything going well. And like you see it, guys who aren't the big all-stars go out there and they're leaders in the clubhouse, the things they do off the field. How many guys did we talk to over the offseason about Kyle Gibson?
Yeah, it was Kyle Gibson. And then when I was down in spring training this year, I was asking around, like, who's a guy that, you really embodies a lot what you're doing with this team. And they go, it's James McCann. It was like out of 10 guys, I think 9 of them said McCann. So you go back, you can't calculate FIP, you can't calculate batting average, WAR, whatever it is. You can't. Buck Showalter says it a lot. Joe Torre said it. Can't measure a heartbeat and what people can do on the personal side, and that's what I love about the game. It's a cool thing because those are the moments that make things come together, and those are the ones that you cherish. So I appreciate that. Enough. We're done with baseball now. Let's do a quick rundown because, John, I got a little bone to pick with you. Yeah, not actually, intentionally.
Can we do
not like Marshall in West Virginia. Marshall, West Virginia.
Time out real quick. I'm gonna
need card.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to give Miss Kelly's BF your key card.
What am I going to tell her tomorrow about these damn blind people?
I don't know. Well, I guess she's gonna be here.
All right. Well, I can throw it to Zach. You give
me Zach, if you can take your key card, because I'm gonna have to come back.
You're gonna come back tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the key.
Still rolling?
Let me know.
Yeah, we're still rolling.
We're still rolling.
But I had to handle that.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It's just Kelly being Kelly,
Yeah, just let me know when to go.
Yeah. Brought to you by
Kelly Ripken.
Kelly Ripken. Shout out Kelly. Yeah, we're not going to cut that. We're going to keep that in.
That would be, why not?
It's good for the people.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's the real life.
It's real life right here.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. But rivalry, Marshall, West Virginia.
It depends on what sport when you say
Yeah, I
rivalry.
was gonna say, the rivalry, I'm not really sure. I think Marshall beat us in baseball.
Yeah.
My sophomore year.
John.
I know this past season Marshall walked off WVU
Oh,
because
really?
Marshall finally got a baseball stadium this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Which
What
is
were they
great.
playing? The
Which
local
is
Little
cool.
League?
They used to drive like 40 minutes away to go to a College of Charleston, I think, or something.
Our home field was in Charleston, West Virginia when I was a sophomore. It was 2.5 hours away.
Oh my
That was where our
god.
home games were.
In
So this is
Charleston?
before- yeah, in
At West
Charleston,
Virginia?
Yeah.
So like where the
literally
West
go-
Virginia Power are
Yes,
or
exactly.
were
Yeah.
with the low A
That
team.
was
I don't know
our
what they are
home
now.
Field, so
What-
we had to
that-
stay
wait.
in a hotel.
Yeah.
That's right. I
every
forgot it had the
single
branding.
weekend.
Holy
so
hell.
like every week we missed over like 100 days of school during the spring semester.
When were you in West Virginia?
12 through 14.
So I left West Virginia, I think in 2011, and I played American Legion ball on like the baseball field that was right next to the Coliseum for like basketball and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
so we had a field there, but it wasn't Big 12 eligible, they said at first. And so my sophomore year, we had to go to Charleston to play all of our home games.
So you're telling me that field that we
Yes.
played on, they
We
liked
actually we got a pretty good turnout there. They love their baseball out there.
Did you-
Those power games? I mean, I played.
Yeah,
there.
you played for W. Was the
The
Toast Man
Toastman?
there? Oh my
Yeah.
God. That guy,
That
fire
was the
up.
biggest character
The
in all of
toaster.
minor league baseball had to be.
And yeah, you guys didn't know about this Toast Man. It lives in infamy. He would come to every game and he would chirp players, but not like distastefully. He just would know maybe too much about you. But the thing is, he would power up a toaster and he would burn toast every time I got the 2 strikes, I think, for a hitter.
Well, I think he would just make it, and then every time your team would strike out,
Yeah.
he'd go, "You are toast,"
Yeah.
and start throwing toast.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, the minor league stories, that might have to become a segment. Minor league grinders.
The team?
No,
No.
he was the mayor of the town.
Oh.
That might be
That-
He was that
mayor of the
No,
the mayor of the town at some point. And he would come to every single game, and then every time a batter would come up, he'd just start screaming to the crowd, "And so leads the league in, I don't know, errors," or something like that, and would tell everybody
Was this
about
whole
it.
campaign
He
based on
he is
toast?
a
Like,
former deputy mayor of Charleston, West
There you go.
Virginia.
What?
I can
This
still hear
guy
it.
Was wild.
If you know like Charleston, West Virginia, and like that area, this is not
Makes
surprising.
sense.
It's
This
also
is-
like one of those places that you need like subtitles, like in real life, because you can't understand what they say.
Mhm.
Like they're
But you could understand him. And it was honestly I might want to, as we keep expanding the media here, I might just have to create a minor league story show or podcast because there are just some gems, absolute gems you can't make up. Going to play the Vermont Lake Monsters when half their locker room burnt down and you got to go and take a shower. We actually weren't allowed to shower at Vermont. Great place to go out, though.
Bleachers,
The
kind of?
bleachers one, yeah.
Yep.
or the Clintons.
KB, Kevin Bradshaw wouldn't let us shower there. And
Well, the shower was the training room, I think.
Yeah, it
the
was-
same. I think the training room was just in
Vermont was playing us in Aberdeen another year or before we went there. And while they're playing us in Aberdeen, their home clubhouse burned down in Vermont.
Mine was my favorite was the Clinton Lumber Kings.
Oh,
When I was
that's
playing-
electric.
I was playing with Cedar Rapids Colonels, and we had to go to Clinton, Iowa. And the Clinton Lumber Kings, like their visiting clubhouse was literal dirt. It was dirt floors. And for dinner, they would always bring in like this igloo cooler full of like hot soup. It was literally a cooler full of like soup.
Yum.
And then the place smelled awful because it was a dog food plant factory.
Wait. Okay.
In
So
Clinton.
I got a few things
A lot
to.
of that is there.
I have
A
a
lot of layers.
I have a couple follow-up questions. So dirt on the ground.
So like think like a foam, like you know how like some places have like that foam matting in a gym or something like
Yeah.
that. So that's what the floor was, but
Oh.
it was so run down and like filled with holes and shit
There's dirt underneath.
that it's just straight dirt. like everything was literally covered in dirt, or it was just straight dirt. There was like
Right.
holes in the foam floor.
And then you had a big old cooler of soup.
And this cooler was also disgusting. It was like covered in dirt and grime and all that stuff.
I
but
love
the-
it. It's great.
the
What flavor
inside-
was the soup,
Did
Jared?
have
It
one
was-
of those little spouts.
Yeah,
you
I was
could
gonna
dig in?
Yeah, no, it did. It legitimately did. And and it was like they one day like put like baked beans and like cut up hot dogs in it.
No,
That was a soup.
Yeah, it was like
That's
one of the.
pretty
What did we
dinners.
call? I mean,
Like
I
bean
probably would
weenies.
have tried that. I tried that.
I mean,
I mean,
Honestly, I'm probably not.
It
But
was
I'm
so
I'm-
bad that like because you know how the minor league wages were at that time.
oh, at the
Like
time.
there was a lady that would come like sell us meals in like behind the dugout, like, and she would bring it all into a van, and guys
She's
were
a
literally
drug
spending
dealer?
their whole per diem every day to get food there.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about. John mentioned back in the day in the minor leagues. The kids don't know about this nowadays, where you would drive 13 hours for a game, get your ass beat, then drive another 8 hours. We had actually, I went from Charleston to Charleston.
The Delmarva League was awful.
Brutal. Charleston, South Carolina to Charleston, West Virginia.
My favorite was
Cool.
freaking Cedar Rapids to Dayton, Ohio, and then down to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and then from Bowling Green, Kentucky back to Cedar Rapids.
I would be curious to like learn about obviously this generation of minor league
Oh.
environments. But then I remember you talking about your pops too.
Oh, Calvin has some stories
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Back in the day, we're
making
also
making
you could-
food with his bat.
Yeah, make it. Yeah, he used to use his bat as a rolling pin.
I thought it was going to be a soup.
Yeah,
Honestly, where is this thing back here?
It's on the side,
My
on the side.
bat got a new stew.
Yeah, essentially, I honestly that could work.
Yeah.
You know, people use like the people use the spatulas, wooden spatulas or stuff
Yeah.
for things.
All he's got to do is crack it in half on accident, and then you just use it to stir it around.
Well, just get me one at bat, and I'll break this thing. There's no doubt about it, dude. Sometimes actually, that Vermont story too, John. To finish it off, I didn't play for a week because I had a back issue. KB said I wasn't going to play that series or the first day. I'm in the lineup that night, and I'm like, oh, okay, great. I don't take first pitch, broken bat. Next at bat, first pitch, broken bat. And then Tim Raines Jr. comes up to me and goes, hey, Rip, maybe you take a pitch just to see. Your timing's off. And I go, oh, maybe. So I did. I took a pitch, and the pitcher was throwing 86. Lefty throwing 86. And I took one pitch. Yeah, might have been John Means at some point. And took a pitch. Then I swung and broke another bat. So 3 pitches, 3 broken bats. And then my 4th at bat, I got a knock. It's wild. But I only brought 3 bats on the trip. So I borrowed someone's bat for the rest of the road trip and ended up with 4 for 12. Pulled that right out of my ass. It was incredible. I love the
Best
stories, man. But my dad, they'd bring on coolers of beer and all the things back in the day. I think you could smoke cigarettes too. He wasn't a smoker by any means, but it's a different day and age back in the early parts of it. But anyway, we'll get into football, get you guys out of here. See, is this okay so far? You guys okay? You comfortable? John seems uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable?
I'm just messing with you.
He might actually bring stats to back it up. I'm just here.
Yeah,
Just,
I don't know. I mean, but John clearly thinks, no hitters, if you throw them, they're not as valued.
Not as impressive.
Yeah,
I do think that, but
loves FIP. What else?
I mean, I think any pitcher, going back to that, would agree with that.
no.
If you do it by yourself, it is way more impressive.
Oh, with the no hitter, I think
Yeah.
FIP because Bradish is all about FIP.
Well, yeah,
Brad-
because his FIP's great.
Well, kind of Brad. Yeah, well, he can throw some fuzz, and he's got a
Yeah. Strikeouts.
he strikes out a lot of guys. Strikes out a lot of guys.
Helps. He's nasty.
He's gross. He's absolutely gross. Glad I really didn't have to face him. I faced him in spring
Talk about
training. That was
broken
enough.
bats.
What?
Talk about broken bats.
He
Oh
can
my
break 'em.
gosh. I'll tell you, I would break my bats on some guys that would throw below 90, and then I'd actually be okay with guys that throw harder. Don't know why. That's for a different time. John, so Chiefs, football,
Ravens.
Chiefs, Ravens. I know you feel obligated. You love Baltimore. This is 1,000%. Chiefs are good this year again. They might be better
Might
than
be
last
better.
year.
Might be better.
Who do you – okay. what is your take on the Kansas City Chiefs? What do you like this year in 2024? Yeah.
Well, the defense last year, I think, was a top 5 defense, and they were also the youngest defense in the league. So
They were.
I think a year removed from that, they might be even better. And now we got a young, fun Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. I don't understand how that happened.
It's the Chiefs. I'm that guy that says we.
But same thing with, I think it's wherever team you root for. I'm okay with saying we. If you're root for that squad, I'm fine with the we.
Me? I mean, I'm just kind of like, I'm more going, I told him this and he attacked me for it, is that I'm going for the Ravens because it's like, I did not get into football until I got to Baltimore. And then like after going to the AFC Championship last year and getting to experience all that, like we were at the Be More Around Town tailgate
with Brian and those guys. Yeah.
And then I was sitting there, I went up on stage and I was talking smack about Means being the Chiefs fan to the whole crowd. And it was the least like motivating thing ever because I had to go after Cedric, who freaking got it going. I mean, you got Cedric the Entertainer for a reason.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I did not get the people going, but I did get to talk smack about Means being a Chiefs fan.
Then I asked him how long he's been a Ravens fan, and he's like, was it 2021?
Yep, 2021.
That's it. You know what?
I came here.
We're not putting a date on that.
Baltimore's such a football town, though. Like it's hard. Like if you're not into football and you come to a place like Baltimore or even Kansas City, it's like
Kansas.
The other part of that though too is like I am friends with Ravens guys. Like I mean, a big Ryan Ripken show favorite is Nick Moore.
Nick Moore, friend of the show. We're getting the jersey and the rafters up here soon.
We're doing the Pro Bowl campaign for Nick Moore.
Yeah, we are. Pro Bowl 2024, long snapper, Nick Moore.
Needs to be there.
But
like, I mean, I got introduced to him in either 21 or 22. And I mean, we've been friends ever since, and he's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
It's like, and I sit there and I got like, I've talked with like Jordan Stout, I've talked with Tyler Linderbaum. Like I've gotten to like, see and talk with these guys. Like I know them more on a personal level.
Yeah.
So it's a little different for me at this point. I'm usually in baseball, I'm a player's guy, but like in football, I'm also a player's guy. But like if I'm going for a team, it's like I'm going.
Well, you got your roots here now in Baltimore, and we'll give John a pass, I guess, because being from the region, and it's fine.
Also, my parents had season tickets for 25 years to Chiefs games.
So is that you're still trying to validate your reason?
That's a great reason.
It is.
We'll let that one slide.
I was going to say too, like it is interesting that you say that as far as being like a player's guy, because before getting involved with this with Rip, I didn't know any of the baseball players for one, but it's definitely been as a thing now that I've gotten to know like you guys and other players. You definitely root for the individual. I find more so than even the team at most of the time.
I tell people this now with the Orioles when they go, Ryan, you're a diehard fan. I go, well, I will always love the Orioles. I grew up with it. My family was involved. When you get older, it's the business of it. And I know a lot of the guys. So I want the team to do well because I want the players to do. I want you guys to kill it. I wish you guys weren't on the IL. If I could get, I mean, I don't think you want my UCL, but whatever it be, I want you.
Jimmy Seafood and Iron Rooster have already.
They've offered that. Yeah. So,
well, Rocco knows about that, about your UCL.
Oh yeah.
It's still very
I got
much
these
intact.
mini footballs. I don't know where they were. We were live on the show the other day. Yeah, throw me one. Give me one. Said hi. And Rocco was just talking shit, and I just whipped him right in the head.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Right in the face.
It was a fantastic throw. Still got it.
Yeah.
Get on the mound and throw 62. But it's about the players. So John did validate. I get it. He's not that much of a Chiefs homer. He is a bandwagon Chiefs fan. His parents had season tickets for 25 years from the region.
So you just picked it up. Recently.
Since they've been winning recently, I started following him. Yeah.
So that's okay though, John. We'll give it that. You know what? Anytime you come back for a Ravens game, I've offered it to Tyler. He just doesn't come up to a Ravens game.
Did you offer me this once? Because I probably forgot.
Well, actually, that time you're supposed to come hang out. Last time you were up here, you guys were having some fun out here. I think Bow came in and Vespi. You were out. Oh, it was when you were doing the caravan.
Yeah. I was on a different schedule than they were because I was with the other.
Oh, this was after the caravan ended, so you're out of excuses.
Well, that was whenever we had to bartend.
That one might have not. I texted you. We were supposed to meet up though for that.
No, that's whenever I had to bartend, and they were at a brewery, I was getting fed shots.
That's
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't feel like
you're
walking
not.
around.
Yeah, you're not a
I'm
shots
like,
guy.
that's probably a bad idea. We're gonna.
Well, hey, during the football season, our sponsor, Deep Eddy Vodka, we're making crushes for every home game. Seriously, they're getting
no
crushes
joke.
for every home game. We're giving out Deep Eddy packages for every Ravens home game. But also, if you guys have connections, I know, but if you guys want to come to
It's
a
an
game, we can give you another
unfortunate thing for me
experience.
because I like whiskey. Like I'm a bourbon guy. Like
We're working on that too.
Oh, you're working with Sagamore?
Well, no, well, we
Sagamore's
could
got good
be.
stuff.
Yeah, Sagamore's got good stuff.
Yeah,
Shout it out.
No, I like Sagamore stuff a lot.
John
Their
said it.
distillery is cool. What'd you say?
No, John said it. Shout him out. We're talking into existence.
No, they. I actually, for me, I got introduced to some of the guys over at during the caravan at El Guapo out in. It's like out towards Ellicott City.
Yeah.
And so anyway, like I was out there and like I was talking with them and they got a great bourbon scene over there. Like it was really cool. And like I'm sitting there, I'm talking with them about bourbon and all that stuff. And so that kind of actually was like one of those things where I was like, I didn't realize this, but Maryland's low key got a huge like bourbon and whiskey scene. And Sagamore is like one of those places that is like a lot bigger than what I think people realize.
Oh, yeah.
No, people have no idea.
No.
People have a different perception of Baltimore in general. One and two, they don't realize how big Sagamore is. It's a unit.
Baltimore is not the Wire.
Baltimore. Well, they had its spots, but like every city has its spots. It's a great place. We love it. And I know you guys love it. That's what it's passionate about. John will forgive you. You're a Baltimore guy at heart. So that's fine. But do you want to then hold the fate of someone's hands by trying to putt?
Sure. Yeah, dude.
So it's gridiron golf here. So for here, we're gonna hit the sky cam.
Yeah.
So it's on you.
Kind of moving up.
Wells knows how good I am at golf.
So we got this.
The
We got
biggest
the gridiron
adrenaline rush
golf
of the year right here.
So hold on, Zach. No, you're good. You can go, Zach. Can you help him just line up the balls, and I'll explain a little bit to it. So what gridiron golf is doing when we run this, they're doing giveaways for the football season. So John, we're just going to pretend all's good. Where everyone's hoping in this room for a 20-point win for the Baltimore Ravens, especially John. But how this works, John, before you shoot, if you make it on the first one.
Do I have to go for the session?
Oh, if you make you get 4 downs. Gridiron golf, taking it to the gridiron here. You have 4 putts, 4 downs. If you make a touchdown on first down, gridiron golf's going to give away a game to one of our subscribers, just like that. So your choice. It's in your hands. We got it set up, Brad?
Yep.
Man, how is he under pressure? Oh, it's JD Martinez all over again. Still in line for people to win if you can get a score.
To win the green jacket.
Come on, Happy.
There it is.
Oh, hey now. You know, we might with Gridiron Golf, we might be able to still do a giveaway. Do you want to try it there?
I'll give it a shot. I'll use his last 2 rounds.
No, you get another chance. It's because it's double or nothing here for our viewers here. We got a lot of giveaways with Gridiron Golf coming up this football season. Just want to make this is a part of the rehab.
Did somebody win something there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet.
John means people helping people. No way. Oh my goodness. Wow. So
I had a putter drop, not a mic drop.
we got 2 winners now to start off that, Brad. How about that?
I love that.
That's unbelievable.
Did it happen before?
Probably not. Probably not. Well, hey, we appreciate you guys coming in. You know what I expect next time you guys are in here? 1, I hope you're fully healthy. Well, you guys are welcome back whenever you want. And 2, I hope you are the best conditioned pitchers you can possibly be.
That's what rehab's for.
That's what rehab's for.
Gotta answer the media question every time. Best shape of your life? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then on the way out, obviously, you guys will get some stuff from. We already were chowing down with Iron Rooster. Kyle, I asked for a couple things, and of course, we never get
half the restaurant.
He
every
gets
time.
half the
Because
rest.
he knows that I'm going to eat it.
He's a good talk about good kids. Kyle is good kids, good people. Guys, appreciate the time. Anything on the final words?
Just looking forward to coming back for playoffs for Baltimore. Hopefully
yeah.
we get to go nice and deep there this year, and
Yeah, looking forward to it too. And I hope the game tonight is really good game, and I hope we all had fun. And
Everyone's happy.
yeah, I hope it's a. Really
I hope the
fun
Ravens,
game.
Ravens and Chiefs
Really
have a
fun
good time.
game.
I just want to bring up the fact that he only talks about the game tonight. He only talked about the game tonight. He didn't.
Game of the year.
The most important game is the one right now.
Yep.
So, guys, appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Be good. Be safe. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.